What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chi-Town Blitz first episode. This is a strictly Bears content driven podcast, and we're going to give you all of Chicago Bears today. Everything you need to know, all the latest with what's happening at the Combine, just everything. And to start off, though, Ian Rappaport reported today on NFL Network, Caleb Williams. He said this is a guy that wants to be a quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Direct quote, this is a guy who wants to come to Chicago, who believes this is the best place for him to be a star quarterback. What are your thoughts on that? I know you're ready.
That's what he said?
That's what he said. Hey, I seen it on Twitter.
Why you ain't send it to me?
Oh, my fault. I keep him updated. I send him all the tweets. Spam him, if I send him too many, then I'll wait till the next day to let him know. But what are your thoughts on that quote?
Man, since this is my first time hearing it,
okay,
my pants a little wet, if you know what I mean.
He always hit me with that. I think I'm gonna come. I just came.
I'm just a Caleb Glazer at this point.
And it's okay to be a Glazer. If it's Caleb, it's cool now. Justin Fields being a Glazer for him, it's not cool no more.
It don't make sense.
Even some of the best Justin Fields,
If he was a Justin Glazer, because it's like them niggas, man. You got so many excuses for Justin, bro. It's like goddamn
dudes that have Justin Fields as their profile picture. What is it, Justin Stan pages? But now even some of the best Justin Fields Glazers have retired. Kyle Long, Chris Long, those dudes, they're all in on Caleb Williams now.
Really?
Yes, they're all in on him.
Send me the links.
Everybody's just changing to Caleb, and that I'm coming to that point too. I was cool with either or. Justin Fields was my preferred quarterback, but with how it's looking, we're gonna get into that later. What Ryan Poles said and Matt Eberflus said, but how it's looking, Caleb is going to be our quarterback. Ian Rappaport reported the news, the quote we just broke down right now. It's clear as day.
Crystal clear.
There's no more narrative of Caleb doesn't want to play for Chicago. I don't know who the fuck started that. Was it Colin Coward? Probably
the same guy who said C.J. Stroud failed his mental tests or whatever the fuck they was called.
He had a bad, was it ST or S2 test or something? I don't know.
That shit don't mean nothing. If you process them on the field, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, his answer for that, like his poor test scores, was, I play quarterback. I play football. Like, I know what I can do on the field. But we got a great show for you guys today. Like I said, we're going to be breaking down Bears, talk, Ryan Poles, what's been happening at the Combine so far. Some more Caleb Williams news. Raheem Morris, coach for the Falcons, he said something very interesting.
A deal is already done. It feels like.
Yeah, I think so too. Michael Vick reincarnation in Atlanta pretty soon. Yeah. But we're going to get into all that. You ready to start the show?
Hell, I thought we did. Shit.
Let's go! Now, let's start off with Ryan Poles' press conference. What was your main takeaways from this? He said some very interesting things.
I think we're starting to see a trend with him from it. Originally went from, we gotta go down a million different scenarios and figure out which one makes the most sense.
Nah, he was entertaining that shit. Like
now he was a little bit more confident. He was talking with a little more talk.
Yeah, if we trade Justin, we're gonna do right by him.
Right, we're gonna do right by him. Saying shit like that.
You don't say that if you keeping Justin. You don't say that if you keeping Justin.
Right, and I think that made it crystal clear, and what they both said, talking about is the player and the person and what they're looking for from
when
that.
You say
that
he's a good guy, he's got a good family.
Bears, almost like you're talking about your next quarterback versus what you already got, because you know what Justin could do, and now you're evaluating who else is out there. So
I thought Eberflus.
I think it just made it more obvious.
Yeah.
To me.
I thought Eberflus, what he said was really telling too.
Oh,
he's been a big Justin Fields guy. He said, reports were coming out. He was defending Justin Fields in the offensive coordinator interviews.
Y'all fell for that shit. That doesn't mean shit, bro. I'm defending him, and I'm just giving you both sides of the story.
Yeah, and I thought he was a big Fields guy.
In the fourth, but he's also
a good leader, a good locker room guy.
Leader, has a great ability to weather the storm, overcome injury. You think about all the shit he went through last year.
A lot of adversity he faced. Yeah.
People forget he had when he got hot, he got hurt, and then came back and came right back on track. So, he overcame a lot. And it's easy to defend a guy like him, I feel like. But that don't mean he's your quarterback.
No, it doesn't. There's been a lot of players that you're like, oh, like I ride with this player, but you still got to make, what's the best decision.
For example, a great example, like in the NBA, be like Russell Westbrook. That was my favorite player for a long time in the NBA.
You hoop like Russell too.
I did hoop like a
play aggressive as fuck.
I did play like Russell Westbrook without the bounce. So that's a good point. But so that's a perfect reason why.
Do what's best for the business.
Fuck with him. But you got to realize, like, all right, this guy's got a ceiling. He's can't be your best player on a championship team. Like, you have those realizations. But that doesn't take away from the greatness that he's been able to accomplish in the NBA. So it's like, you could say the same. You can tell both sides of the story, and people gonna assume that's defending them. But it's just really looking at it from both perspectives, and you have to make a sound call on moving past.
It's a huge decision. Well, people are saying it's easy ass decision though. Fields hasn't done shit.
Oh, it's very easy. It's very easy. That fourth quarter shit, bro. You think about those games we lost.
Always a turnover in the fourth quarter. Always like a fumble or some shit. It was
shit that don't need to happen. A lot of it was on
Justin,
Justin, and then a lot of it was on the play calling those last 3 or 4 games, especially like the Browns game and shit like that. But if you got a guy, play calling gets a lot easier if you got a guy that can do both and not just one. So it's like
we got a lot more plays in your arsenal,
right?
But I thought, Eberflus quote, he said directly, the fourth quarter situations, the separator, the biggest, most important quality for a quarterback is fourth quarter situations, end of game situations. That's the separator. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Basically, Justin Fields can't do that shit. We got to bring somebody else in that can,
No, he's arguably the worst fourth quarter quarterback, statistically. So it's
the numbers bad.
Come on, man. When guys start heating them up and, like, we're starting... Even in that Washington game where we pulled away, thank God, I was getting nervous.
Yeah, me too. That Washington... That was... Because the Denver game was before that, I believe. Mm-hmm. There were some bad stinkers before that one. But Justin Fields, been supportive of him for his tenure. He had some great moments, had some spectacular plays. Mm-hmm. The Falcons right now are the number one candidate to trade for him. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh was before, but Raheem Morris, he said in the interview, look, if we had good quarterback play, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, and that's
a crazy quote. And it's funny as hell. I think he's going to be a good coach in Atlanta. But, between the two, Pittsburgh or Atlanta, which team will give Justin Fields? Where will he have the most success at? Atlanta or Pittsburgh?
I'd like to lean Pittsburgh just because of what they already got in place
Arthur
there.
Smith as an OC.
They're way better, more equipped to have success than the Falcons are. The Falcons aren't far away, don't get me wrong, but the Steelers were in the playoffs last year without a quarterback. Like, how does that
Mason Rudolph as quarterback.
How do they continue to do that shit? So imagine one with it. And you got Arthur Smith, who,
like, he's
when
done it with Marcus Mariota.
Years, like, he was a dual threat guy. So imagine that on steroids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now
there's still going to be a ceiling. I don't think they're going to.
I don't know if they're better than Cleveland with Justin. And Cleveland's.
They're better than Cleveland.
So?
With a healthy Deshaun, no.
Healthy Deshaun,
no.
Well, Joe Flacco, they're better.
I've seen something Cleveland's trying to get.
Who? Gabe Davis?
No.
They're trying to get Gabe Davis though too.
They are.
Yeah.
They're trying to get D tackle from the Chiefs.
Chris Jones.
Chris
Damn,
Jones.
that'd be nuts.
That'd be loco.
Miles Garrett and Chris Jones.
Loco.
And then they got some young meat on the other side. They got some young. I know. Yeah, you can't do any pause jokes or any gay references now because of Diddy. You got to take it easy for the rest of the month. In light of what's been coming out about him. Moment of silence for him. But no, Deshaun Watson on the Browns. I think they're a better team than Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh still probably the fourth best team in that division, even with Justin Fields. That's what I think. Joe Burrow is going to come back. The Bengals, they didn't have the best year, so their schedule is going to be a lot easier next year. They're going to be a playoff team next year. Mm-hmm. Healthy. They just transition tagged T. Higgins. They're probably they could trade him. They can tag and trade. That could be the situation, but it don't matter. I think they're talking about trading up to get Brock Bowers too. That's what some I've been seeing. That could happen. So, the Bengals are still going to be the Bengals. That's the only dude that could beat Patrick Mahomes, what we've seen recently.
True.
So that team's going to be legit. So I think Justin Fields' best chance for real success, playoff success, and not just his own personal success, I think is Atlanta. Because you bring him in there.
Yeah, that's a good point, looking at it from everything around him.
Yeah. Because Atlanta has a pretty good defense.
But let me ask you this, though.
Okay, let me hear it.
Do you prefer to trade him to the Steelers if you're Ryan Poles, correct?
Yes. But he did say he's going to do right by Justin.
That's a fact. And, Atlanta, we'll bust their ass.
Even
with Justin.
With Caleb and our defense?
We'll bust their ass.
We know how to beat
Atlanta.
In practice?
Let's be crystal clear. We're not worried about Atlanta.
Nah.
So, you're right. We could trade him to Atlanta. Honestly, I do like him in Atlanta more for him.
That's great for football.
Yeah, I think it's great for football.
Imagine if Bijan lets him put on 7 too.
Man.
That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I definitely like him in Atlanta, but if I'm looking at it from Pole's perspective, is Pittsburgh willing to give up the 20th pick for him?
Oh, yeah. Then I'm taking that shit instantly.
Then it's a no-brainer.
3 first-round picks. Well, you're going to probably trade, with Atlanta, I saw that they could give us their second-round pick and maybe a pick in next year's draft for Justin. I've seen some people do those, trades where they're like, all right, let's swap, 8 and 9. Let's move up, maybe get a receiver. Maybe have a better opportunity.
8, 9, and then what? What else?
Justin and the second-round pick.
Okay.
So 8 for 9, Justin and a second-round pick.
No, I like that idea, especially if
Adunze and Neighbors probably gonna be gone.
No, that's what I'm worried. If they're gone before 9, that's gonna be.
There are Keon Coleman. We could get him.
Yeah, Keon Coleman is nice, but would you want him at? You think you got to take him at 9, which kind of sucks, honestly.
That's why, all right, if Adunze,
but you can't afford because they're the last couple drafts. Usually, when that first receiver's gone, they start going like that
quick. Yeah.
So it's
and teams are going to be trading up for a receiver.
Especially with how, I feel like that's one of the easiest receivers positions to transition to in the modern NFL nowadays. Is these receivers coming out of college are getting better and better every single year.
707. That's the only good
707,
thing.
Right. That's
Cam Newton. That's the only good thing about 707.
All year round. You can't run the rock year round. You'll be busted and disgusted. So it's
crazy.
Receivers, DBs, those are the positions you gotta hit on, and those go quickly usually.
So at 9, mm-hmm. who are you taking? 100%. If you were Ryan Poles, you got Caleb at 1. Who are you taking at 9?
I'm taking Adunze
over Neighbors. If Neighbors is available, you taking him over?
Yeah, because I like the size Adunze brings.
He's 6'3". Yeah, because if you don't get Marvin, you don't really have a big receiver in this locker room. You need a bigger body, and he's just one of the best contested catchers in college football. He comes down with it. When Big Penix Energy throws it to him, he comes down with it.
Exactly.
He finishes.
50-50 balls. He seems to win often. He can run every route.
Bigger threat, DJ Moore
bigger,
too.
Faster. So yeah, I really like it. I love his game.
Mm-hmm.
I love Neighbors game too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, if Odunze's gone, I'm cool with taking Neighbors too.
I'm happy with either. Don't get me twisted. So.
Yeah, I think Caleb's fucks with that Neighbors too. Like, I think there was like something going on. He was like reposting one of his things, his posts and stuff. So I'm sure they're in contact with each other. So both of them to Chicago would be scary.
Extremely.
And Neighbors is fast as fuck.
Right, and I think you draft receiver at 9. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't see us trading back.
I can't either. Well, I could see it actually, because especially, all right, let's say the receivers are off the market and we don't want to, draft too high. Maybe trade down to like 12 and get a second round pick with one of these teams. Then you could get a pass rusher, Dallas Turner, or the dude from UCLA. He's cold as fuck. You could get him, one of these, top defense linemen. Maybe there's like, still a receiver left. You don't want to draft him at 9. I could see Ryan Post trading down from 9 because we don't have a second round pick. We could get that if we trade Justin though. So 3rd round, we need more capital. So I could see them trading down from the 9th.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that strategy is based on what happens in free agency.
Yes, that's why we need to trade Justin before free agency.
Oh, no question.
And when Post said, yeah. I'm gonna do right by Justin, and it would not be like right to not trade him before free agency starts. So, if that would be very telling.
And when does free agency start?
March 11th.
Damn.
The new year, league year, or whatever, starts officially on March 13th. But March 11th, that's when you could start like negotiating, talking to players. But deals become official March 13th. And I remember last free agency right off the bat. TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. I was at work. I was like, damn. Linebackers
on the 13th
from hell.
Or 11th?
No, I think it was on the 11th. We was making deals. Yeah. TJ Edwards was signed immediately, like at the beginning of in the morning.
Man, yeah, those are great pickups.
Yeah, and they pay dividends too. Like
very, very much.
Very good linebackers.
Very good.
But the last subject I'm going to get into before we get into like our mock off season, some moves we would make. Caleb Williams, he said some very interesting things in the interview with ESPN yesterday, because it's coming out today. I mean tomorrow. But he said some very interesting things. He said all the right answers. His PR team, they prepared him pretty well. Says he likes deep dish pizza. Has been doing his homework. Studying over Walter Payton, Michael Jordan.
That boy excited. He geeked. When you watching Mike tape, you
yes. Geeked. And like everybody knows, like that.
The vibe in Chicago is so crazy.
Yes.
So it wouldn't make sense like for anybody to like be like, nah, I don't want to go there. Like what? That don't make no damn sense.
If you are fucking good, you will be celebrated in Chicago. Like. Yeah, think about it.
The city is too crazy. And
even if he just wins Rookie of the Year.
We have terrible quarterback history, but we've never had good quarterbacks either. Yeah. So it's like...
Jay Cutler is the only good quarterback we've ever had.
They can't get quarterbacks right. We ain't had a quarterback to get right. Jay Cutler and Justin Fields were the only two...
Sid Luckman.
that even come to mind. And even Justin, we knew was a project, so obviously we didn't do right by him, but...
Yeah.
He still didn't develop as fast regardless. So
right. We didn't have the right
we have
coach for
opportunity where everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm. So it's exciting. I mean, if Caleb comes out first year, wins Rookie of the Year, the Bears go to the playoffs, they're already giving him a statue in Chicago. He's getting a statue. All right.
Miami's center.
Connor Williams. And we can get him for cheap because he's one of the best free agent centers and one of the best centers in the league this year. Had a really good year, but he's recovering from a leg injury. So the thing with that is you sign him, draft a center, a guy that you could put out there and develop him, and have Connor Williams step in. That could be something.
Step in when it get cold. Yeah, and it's hard to snap.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like early in the season, September football is still summer. Like
it's not bad.
You gonna play fast. You're not injured, but like as the season goes on, that's a different type of grind. And to have a rookie at quarterback and
a rookie at center that's difficult. You're
gonna hit a wall week 12, 13 because you ain't used to going after that. You know what I'm saying?
So that's a really good point So at the center position, I definitely think you need to sign a veteran and not a fucking Lucas Patrick veteran. Not an ass center. So I think this is the position Ryan Poles splurges in this position, and then defensive line, safety, maybe. We don't see him go after these big receiver names, these running backs. But I think center, this is a position that needs to be addressed in free agency. Yeah. So I think Lloyd Cushenberry, the center from Denver, he had a pretty good pass blocking grade off PFF. I think it was 76. He allowed 1 sack this year, 4 QB hits, better than Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair. So you bring him in. He's 26 years old. Ooh. He's pretty solid, so he'll have him for some years. I think you bring him in there with already the solid tackle Braxton Jones. Darnell Wright's a for sure thing. I think Tevin Jenkins is a for sure thing. Nate Davis, he had some personal issues this year, but I think he'll be back this year. You brought in an assistant O-line coach from Tennessee, a guy he's familiar with, so I think that should motivate him and help him get through. So I think Lloyd Cushenberry would be a really good signing. I do like Connor Williams too, because you're going to need a veteran presence. But a name they could sign, Brian Allen. It's a center from the Rams. He's familiar with this kind of offense. This is a guy that had a lot of injuries though, but still like 28, pretty solid when he's playing. He's a decent player, decent center, so it'd still be an upgrade.
I hate seeing a injured offensive line. When I don't have that camaraderie of them 5 guys coming,
especially a rookie quarterback,
it immediately changes your hopes when you're about to go play. It's like, fuck, so-and-so ain't playing. Fuck.
Especially the center.
Like, damn, we gotta go against who this week? Niggas is going straight.
Chris Jones.
Niggas is lining straight over the backup.
So I think Lloyd Cushenberry, then I think I would give him a pretty decent contract. He had a really good year this year. And Denver, they can't afford to pay him, I don't think. Especially what he's worth.
They gotta eat how much on
Russ's deal. And then they paid those offense linemen, the guard and the tackle, they gave them the bag. So I think the center, they're gonna probably have to draft a center. And so I think Lloyd Cushenberry comes to the Bears. That's one guy I have on a signing. Now, defensive side of the ball, I think the needs right now, D-tackle, you can improve that area. Justin Jones, maybe let him go. Defensive end, free safety. So some defensive tackles I think the Bears can go after. Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins, I don't think Miami can. I don't think they can afford him.
I don't think they can, and they had issues last year getting a deal done.
They cut Xavier Howard.
Damn, for real?
Because, cap casualty. They let him go because he was getting help. They were paying him a lot.
Highest paid. So, he was one of the highest paid corners, right?
Yeah. So, and Christian Wilkins is 28 years old. Probably one of the best D-tackles in the league. 9 sacks this year, 63 tackles, great against the run. You add him with Dexter, Montez Sweat. That would be legit. That would be legit.
You're forgetting somebody, too.
Daniil Hunter? Can we bag him all? Can we bag him? $80 million in cap space.
We got the 4th most.
We got the 3rd, actually.
We got the 3rd?
Yeah. Damn. Bumped up. The salary cap number went up, too, to our benefit. So, Christian Wilkins, really like him. The D-tackle from Baltimore, too. He's good as fuck, bro.
He might be the best.
But I don't think Baltimore is going to let him go.
They're not.
They're not going to let him go.
You can't let him go because that's what they're gonna need to run it back, is to have that same defensive output that they got last year.
Yeah, so they can't let his ass go. I don't think they will. Derek Nottie though, defensive tackle from KC. See, I don't think you go all in at D tackle. You pay put a big bag to a player
Did you see that play he made against Trent Williams?
Derek Nottie, the D tackle from the Chiefs, for real.
Yeah, he put him on his shit.
Damn.
Yes. It was on that one guy's YouTube video.
Yeah.
Put him on his shit.
He's only 27. He has a lot of experience. This is a guy that has a connection with Ryan Poles, too, in KC. So this would be a good veteran to add into the locker room and into this position. I think you add a veteran. You don't bag Wilkins or Matabuke or M'Baku.
Yeah, and and I said that just as a fan, like the whole if you get one, you ain't gonna get the other. Like you're not gonna get two.
And you got to look at the premier positions. Right. Defensive end, you add Danielle Hunter, you're set. And Dexter, you continue to develop him. Maybe draft another D tackle because I like what Poles has done in the trenches. You got Billings too, who's a good run stopper. So,
but I will say this: for like the better quarterbacks that can win in the pocket, like the Burrows and Mahomes, you got to rush them like in their face, just as much as you got to keep them in the pocket, like rush the edges. So like what KC was able to do against Lamar. Perfect example. Like,
Chris Jones was eating that day.
Yeah, so perfect example. So if you could get rushed from the interior, I like that just as much as
Chris Jones would be nice.
In my opinion.
Chris Jones would be nice, but I think he's staying in KC. They're going to figure that out.
Oh, yeah. They can't let him leave.
No. I think Tim Settle, this is a defensive tackle who has, played with Montez Sweat in Washington. He had 5 sacks that year. He's been a defensive lineman under new DC, Eric Washington in Buffalo. Pretty solid guy, another veteran guy. Not too flashy. He had a sack this year, a couple tackles. So just not the sexy signing, but somebody that can get the job done. Only 26 too, so you could continue to develop him. I like that option for the Bears. Now, defensive line, defensive end, edge guys, Danielle Hunter.
I need him.
Hey, did you see it? Some of his stats this year were fucking crazy.
16 and a half sacks.
16 and a half sacks. 23 QB hits.
Shit. He's a dog.
22 TFLs too. Great against the run. One of the best against the run. So we already have the number 1 run defense. You add him in there. On the other side, setting the edge. Well, Montez, that shit's crazy.
So why is he not returning to Minnesota?
He's 29 right now, so he's going to be 30. So I think with them, they're focusing more on the other positions.
And they got to pay JJ.
They got to pay Kirk, and JJ want 35 a year, baby. He wants something crazy.
I mean, when you averaging like $150 a game, that's a large.
It's a sure thing.
Yeah, that's a large performance piece of your overall offense. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, he definitely deserves whatever he's going to get. I've seen some people talk about him potentially getting traded, but that shit's crazy. Him to KC? Some dudes are like, he going to go to Kansas City.
Some people said the Patriots should trade their 3rd overall for Justin Jefferson. I said, what? Niggas is crazy.
Who's going to throw him the ball? Right. I get the whole aspect. You want, your team to be good around a rookie quarterback. But sometimes you just need a quarterback. You need a guy in there, in the building.
Right, especially at 3 when there's 3 good
quarterbacks.
3 good quarterbacks.
Maybe they could trade down and try it with McCarthy or one of the other tier quarterbacks, Bo Nix. But
maybe Bo, but not JJ.
Yeah, he's high on Bo Nix. But back to Danielle Hunter, I think this would be a huge signing for the Bears.
Man, if we did that,
it would be scary.
I would tear up.
You would come too. I'm gonna send him the message. Be like, the Bears just got Danielle Hunter. He'll be like, I think I just came a little. That's some wild shit.
Not on the deal.
But that would be huge. I see what I would do. I would sign Danielle Hunter, and I would sign AJ Epinesa from Buffalo as a rotational rusher. You can't have enough rushers. You have Montez and you have Danielle Hunter. Then you have AJ Epinesa on 3rd down, pass rushing situations. He's one of the best at that. 6.5 sacks this year, 6.5 sacks the year before. And he's from Oak Park, Illinois, a Chicagoland area guy. Ryan Poles loves those guys. He does love those guys. Yeah. So he's going to give him a good deal. And who better to continue to develop him and coach him other than his D-line coach from last year and his D-line coach recently. So I think that's him and Curtis Samuel are definitely going to be Bears. I would be surprised if AJ Epinesa went anywhere else but Chicago and Buffalo. So that's what I would do. I'd sign Danielle Hunter and I would sign AJ Epinesa.
That's a great idea. How much Epinesa going to cost?
Not too much. Not too much at all. You could get him for a nice, friendly deal. Okay. We have $80 million in cap space, So
Still got to sign.
So I think we bag
Jalen,
off. We bag off Danielle Hunter. We give Danielle Hunter probably probably
22 and that
22 mil a year, and then Jalen Johnson.
Jalen a dub.
He's gonna be 20 mil a year too. So 42 million between those two.
That's 38K left. 38 M's left.
Center, you got to get a center too.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be nothing but like 5.
And then I think AJ Epinesa would probably be. I think he'd be less than 10. I think he'd be less than 10.
Okay.
10 a year. So I think we could get him. Bryce Huff, I like him too. He's solid. He's probably like one of the most efficient pass rushers. You look at his, getting after the quarterback rate, it's really high. 10 sacks last year. He's only 25 too. The Jets have been trying to trade his ass for the longest. Wow. So I don't know why. Every deadline they're trying to trade his ass. So I think he's going to be gone on another team. So if you miss on Danielle Hunter, get Bryce Huff, AJ Epinesa. I'm cool with that too. The last need for the Bears, though, safety, Geno Stone. 7 interceptions this last year. Really good ball hawk safety. Eddie Jackson, what he did well was get interceptions, get turnovers. We got turnovers as a defense really well last year, too. So bringing a guy that got 7 interceptions last year, guy that knows how to get to the ball and stuff, that would be huge. And Eddie Jackson, not that great of a tackler anymore. He lost that.
Oh, my goodness.
And if you're not tackling, you're not getting interceptions no more. You got no use for this defense. So I think Geno Stone is a better tackler. He had like 68 tackles. Bring him in. He's only 24, bro. He's about to be 25, though.
Damn.
So he played with AJ Epinesa, too.
Damn.
And Noah Fant. So bring the trio. Bring all 3 of them motherfuckers to the Bears. Let's make something happen. So Geno Stone, I think that would be a huge addition. 2 other safeties I like. Xavier McKinney, the safety from the Giants, Alabama. Went to Alabama. He's really good. I think he had like 116 tackles this season, 3 interceptions. He's been really good. One of their biggest like promising pieces of their defense. So I think they'll probably try everything they can to resign him. I like Kyle Duggar. Safety from the Patriots, too. He's really good. He's been consistent. But I think Geno Stone just makes the most sense.
Yeah, especially from an age perspective.
Yes.
Like,
he fits the nucleus of this defense. Yeah. Look at all the defensive players we have. Jalen Johnson's 24. Kyler Gordon, he's young. Brisker's young. Stevenson, Terrell Smith, all the corners, the secondary is young. So you bring in a guy that could fit that timeline. So I don't like him going after a guy that's 27 or 28. I would prefer Geno Stone. We might have to give him a pretty decent contract, though. But I'm okay with it. Bag him off. The salary cap doesn't exist. But one name to watch out for is Julian Blackmon. Pretty good safety. Hard-hitting safety. Can get turnovers, too, at a high level. So I think that adjustment would be nothing. Like, he could fit in really well with this defense. Eberflus guy, so watch out for that. So right now, the breakdown I have. In free agency, Drew Lock as your backup quarterback.
Why him?
He knows the offense. Tyson Bagent. Come on. This dude threw 4 interceptions in the game or 3 interceptions. In a new offense, you need a quarterback in the room that knows the offense, I think. So you bring in a guy, Drew Lock.
Just like that.
And when Geno Smith went down, he stepped in for a game, and he got the job done. So that's something I think the Bears should do. I think it's a good spot for Drew Lock, too, as well. Curtis Samuel, we've both been in agreement on that. Bringing him in.
Love that addition.
Noah Fant, however you say it. I think you bring him in, athletic tight end, would be a matchup nightmare for defenses as our tight end number 2. Lloyd Cushenberry, pretty good center. I think you put him in there. It's a good option for the Bears. 26 years old, so he fits our timeline of where we're trending. Him, veteran, experience, so this is a good center for Caleb Williams to have. Danielle Hunter, AJ Epinesa, Tim Settle at D tackle, and then Geno Stone at safety. I think that's what you do. I think that's what we got to do.
Damn.
I think that's what we got to do. But, what are your thoughts? How the breakdown?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And then in the draft, you fill out best player available every pick. Adunze, You can get Keon Coleman in the second round too if you want. Fuck it.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
And then I think this one defensive line prospect I like from Colorado State. You don't have to go too high for DN. He's gonna probably be available fourth or fifth round. Muhammad Kamara. Dude's a fucking monster. 13 and a half sacks, 17 TFLs. That's a guy to keep an eye out for. But free agency is going to come first. So we're going to continue to provide, prospects, targets.
Almost March.
Yeah, whoever, we think the Bears should sign, some guys to keep an eye out for. Zach Pearson, we're going to be calling him soon to give us the latest and the updates from, his time at the Combine and all that. So be on the lookout for what we got moving forward. Chi-Town Blitz, first episode of this. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow, update with our content. We got a lot that's going to be coming out, but it's going to be exciting. This off season is just kicking off. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, peace.
It wouldn't make sense, like, for anybody to, like, be like, nah, I don't want to go there. Like, what? That don't make no damn sense.
If you are fucking good, you will be celebrated in Chicago. Like, think about it.
The city is too crazy. And
even if you just went rookie of the year.
We have terrible quarterback history, but we've never had good quarterbacks either.
Yeah.